So a lot of reaction, of course, from the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight that have transpired last Friday. Paul, of course, won going away. He toyed with Mike Tyson. It never was really a fight outside the first round, which Tyson was semi-competitive. We know Tyson came in hobbled with the bad knee. I think, but it's been amazing. It's funny hearing the discourse about this fight and in regards to the expectation level, or what was the expectation level of this fight. Now, 65 million people watch. It was an embarrassment to Netflix as far as their cable system, as far as they looked like they were on cricket, on a cricket instead of the cricket Wi-Fi. Like that's absolutely inexcusable. But when we look at the boxing, I don't know what the expectation should have been, what type of fight you were expecting from a guy who's 58 years old, hadn't fought almost 20 years, against a guy who is a former, YouTube sensation turned semi-pro boxer. Listen, Jake Paul trains with real boxers, so he'll knock the average man out. So, no, you can't beat Jake Paul. Let's get that straight. But he's not a guy. Jake Paul is not a guy who will ever fight a top fighter, or even a guy in the heavyweight division that's ranked in the top 10, top 15. Jake Paul is a master money businessman who has found a way to monopolize his YouTube, his following, his social media dominance into being one of the biggest draws in boxing. And you can't complain, because he's one of the biggest draws in boxing because of us, because we continue to watch his fights at this ridiculous rate. And what motivation would Jake Paul have on fighting a real fighter, or on fighting 2 or 3 times a year versus the one time a year that he fights? Like, he has no motivation for it. He doesn't care about his boxing legacy. He doesn't. Jake Paul is about numbers, the money, the ratings, the clicks. That's what Jake Paul is about. He's 27 years old. This guy is not a boxing purist. Remember, he came into boxing rich, a multi-millionaire. He was one of the more popular YouTubers out there, right? Was one of the most popular YouTubers out there before he came into boxing. He doesn't need boxing for money. Now, boxing has taken that career, his career to another stratosphere. But don't expect Jake Paul to give a shit about the respectability of boxing. He doesn't. That's not who he is. And again, you're not forcing him to do so. As an audience, you're going to continue to support his fights. He can fight Tommy Hitman Hearns. We will watch the fight. Absolutely. Jake Paul has no desire to be a world championship boxer. That's not what he's in the business, what he's here for. As far as the Tyson angle, I felt bad watching Mike Tyson, like growing up watching Mike Tyson, and the way he was being toyed with and the way Jake Paul was carrying him. I didn't want to see Mike Tyson like that. Well, with that being said, there's no victims here. From a standpoint, I didn't feel sorry for Mike Tyson. He took the payday. He absolutely took the payday. And remember, I don't want to see Mike Tyson become a caricature again. Like the Mike Tyson that fought Lennox Lewis, the Mike Tyson, after the second Holyfield fight, he kind of lost his way, saying wild shit. He gets the face tattoo. He yells I want to eat his children. So he had like a 4 or 5 year stretch after the second Holyfield fight where he completely just lost it. In essence, you can say he lost his mind. So he has this rebirth post-fight career where he loses a ton of money. He goes back to, according to him, living modestly. He kind of gets out of the spotlight, so to speak, but then he gets back in the spotlight with these powerful documentaries that he had. He gets the Hot Box, podcast, which becomes enormously popular, and he humanizes himself. And it wasn't because of boxing. It was because of just the introspective nature of his personality. Just hearing him, just hearing him post fight career, that Mike Tyson became a cultural icon and had a rebirth of his career post boxing. Again, I don't want to see a 58-year-old caricature of Mike Tyson. There's no need for him to ever step back into a ring to fight. Ever. I don't care if it is an exhibition. I don't want to see him against Holyfield. I don't want to see him against Roy Jones Jr. I don't want to see him against anybody.